B-25 paper doll by Tate, Riley, Jarod, and Kailen.
Japan's goals were to become an independent nation and make Asia for Asians ruled by Japan by creating the Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere. To do this, Japan needed natural resources and invaded East Asia to gain these natural resources. The U.S. placed an oil embargo on Japan because of them going to war. This gave Japan reason to attack the U.S. because to have an empire they needed oil. The U.S.'s role in the Asian theater was responding to being attacked by Japan.
The North American B-25 Mitchell was an American twin-engined medium bomber. It was used by the many Allied air forces in World War II. The B-25 was named after General Billy Mitchell, a pioneer of the U.S. military. The B-25 was made to be an attack bomber for export in France and the United Kingdom. By the time they stopped making the B-25, nearly 10,000 miles had been made. It was first flown in August 19, 1940. It is 53 feet in length and also a height of 16 feet 4 inches. It weighs around 20,305 pounds. It has 12 to 18 50 caliber machine guns.
The purpose of the B-25 bomber is very simple. They wanted a more efficient plane. They needed a plane that could go fast to get from the aircraft carrier to Japan quick. It was also essential to have a fuel-efficient plane because the bomber needed to be able to travel long distances. Once the bomber left, the aircraft would have to travel to a safe spot in China, which is quite the distance. Also, the bombers went above and beyond carrying fuel. The bombers would carry up to 6 fuel tanks. The defect of carrying so much fuel is all the weight. They had to take out many important things, such as radio and other bombs. Some of the uses of the B-25 bomber. The B-25 bomber was used by several of the Allied air forces in all of the theaters of World War II. The bomber wasn't just used during the war, it was used by many air forces post-war and saw service for more than 4 decades past World War II. The B-25 Mitchell was at the time one of the fastest planes, topping out at speeds greater than 300 miles per hour. They also were known for their range and fuel efficiency, able to make a 3,000-mile trip, which made the B-25 one of the most reliable aircrafts in the mid-1900s.
The goal of the battle was to prove that even Japan was vulnerable to attacks on their homeland. Also, James Doolittle said that the raid was intended to cause Japanese to doubt their leadership. The raid was also a plan to boost Americans' morale. By the spring of 1942, America needed a moral boost after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The raid on Japan on April 18, 1942 certainly provided that. While a USS Hornet was making its way toward Japan, a fishing boat spotted it. For fear of being reported to the mainland, Colonel James Doolittle decided it'd be best for the 16 B-25s to leave early and finish the raid.
Each of those 16 planes carried 5 men who were sent on a secret mission to bomb Japan. The raiders, as they were known, were sent to fly over Japan, drop bombs, and then fly to a part of China that was still free. However, since they had to take off early, many of the planes ran low on fuel and had to bail out of the planes before making it to their destination. After the battle, Japan was forced to move resources to defend the country. After the raid, Japanese forces marched through coastal cities in Japan, shooting any man, child, cow, hog, or just about anything that moved. They also raped any woman from the ages of 10 to 60, according to Father Wendland Dunker, who was a member of a Chinese village. 8 Doolittle raiders were captured while the Japs swept through the villages. They were all charged with killing civilians and were sentenced to death. Only 3 were executed, but another died of starvation, while the other 4 were put in POW camps for 40 months. A Chinese general stated that the Doolittle raid had caused more than 250,000 Chinese deaths. All in all, the Doolittle raid led to America celebrating its first victory of the war, which led to confidence in the Army, which was their main goal.